Saudi Arabia has stripped its religious police of their powers to arrest, urging them to act kindly and gently from now on in enforcing the rules of Islam. Well, officers of the Haia force, also known as the Mutawaa, they've been asked by the Saudi cabinet to carry out the duties of encouraging virtue and forbidding vice by advising people, rather than the more controversial methods that they have used in the past. Well, the new cabinet decision, it was made yesterday, it orders religious officers to from now on report violators to police or to the drug squad unit. Well, there's been a lot of controversy in the past over this religious police that were formerly doing things like arresting people who use alcohol or drugs or even committed certain crimes relating to witchcraft, anything that was against the rules of Islam. For example, we know that there's often segregation of men and women. Women are supposed to cover themselves in public. And these Islamic rules were governed by the religious police and often using some very controversial methods. There have been violence in the past, arrests being made. Now the cabinet in Saudi Arabia, they've decided that this should no longer happen. And from now on, the religious police has to act in a more calm manner and put violators over to the regular police, to the drug enforcement squad, and they no longer can even chase people, can ask for their IDs, can follow them. This is now the jurisdiction of the regular police force. Big change for Saudi Arabia.
It is a big change. You know, they were previously the judge, jury, and executioner when it came to citing crimes. Look, women still cannot do, you know, we could be talking about this all day long. They can't interact with men. They can't go for a swim. They can't enter a Starbucks. They can't wear makeup. You know, this long list of supposed crimes, and the moral police could you know, at random harass, detain, do a number of things specifically to women. So this is a good step in a positive direction. But until they address the heart of this issue, Joe,
it comes down to obviously their interpretation of Islam. The big question I have is why the sudden change? Why to suddenly relax things and to take away the powers of arrest from the religious police? And something that comes to mind for me is obviously about perception, about how Saudi Arabia is perceived by other countries in the world. Previously, they didn't seem to care that they were seen as this force that was so conservative, so strict. But I wonder whether social media incidences that were captured online, viral images going around. For example, just in February, there was a woman that was allegedly assaulted outside a shopping mall, and this was something that went viral. There was also a car crash a couple of years ago involving the religious police where 2 men were left dead. And with social media, with stories even that we've done here on the Lip TV, going around that highlight what really goes on and how the religious force go and enforce the Islamic rules, you wonder whether it's because of this that the cabinet has come out and decided to make such a drastic change.
Well, not only that, but they seem much more concerned with their own image than actually addressing the root of the problem. You know, whipping out those cell phones and recording this, the uploading. You and I have covered case after case regarding Saudi Arabia and human rights, and it looks like they're finally doing something about it, even if it's only to protect their own image.
You have to wonder, though, whether these officers who are so used to being able to use more brute force will get some kind of sensitivity training, or what will happen to them if they continue in their old ways. Will they get reprimanded, for example? Because it surely can't be a natural transition for officers that have been used to using more aggressive tactics to suddenly be told to calm down. Well, the religious police in Saudi Arabia, they've been asked to calm down. They've been asked to act kindly and gently from now on in enforcing the rules of Islam in Saudi Arabia.